that's kind of what I'm gathering from that dream, is that the noise, that the news that will be coming out is going to stir people up into a panic, into a frenzy where they're looking for places to hide. But there will also be this crash, right? Good afternoon, everybody. Christian here. Today I have a prophetic word to share with you. Only this one's going to be given to you in the form of a dream. So I will give you the dream that I had this week, and then I will tell you what I know about it. As always, if there is something that the Holy Spirit reveals to you about the dream, or some insight that you believe you have, feel free to comment below with that insight. I always enjoy reading that. Sometimes I get insight that I didn't have myself. So I appreciate it. Now this week, I went to bed, I believe it was Monday night, I went to sleep. And early Tuesday morning, I was awakened by a loud noise. It was about 1:45, 1:55 in the morning, and I woke up to the sound of a tornado siren in my town. It wasn't something I was hearing in a dream, it was the real tornado siren that was going off in town. And when I woke up and I heard this, I started to listen for the storm. And I listened for the rain, and there was no rain. I listened for the wind, and there was no wind. There was just the siren going off. And I knew in my spirit that this is the thing that I've shared with you in the past. I uploaded a video talking about there was a dream that I had where I hear a tornado siren, and I look outside, and I don't see a storm. So anyway, when I had this experience Tuesday morning, I woke up, knew what it was symbolic. The Lord was telling me now's the time to give the warning about this storm that's coming, even though you can see no evidence of it. So I knew, okay, I'm going to have to change my plan for making a video, and I'm going to have to focus on giving this warning. So I went to sleep. As I went to sleep, I was still thinking about the tornado warning and the prayers that I had for the Lord, asking Him to protect my family and I in this storm that's coming. And as I was falling back to sleep, the sound of the tornado siren had stopped in the natural world, but I was still thinking about that sound. And as I fell asleep, that sound and entered a dream, and I was aware in this dream that I was in this room, and I heard a loud sound. It wasn't the sound of the siren, but it was a very, very loud sound. And I could see myself, like I was outside my body looking at myself. And I was in a panic. And I was looking for where to hide myself, or should I hide myself, that kind of thing, from the storm, the tornado. The noise was very loud, and it shook the earth that was under my feet, and the building that I'm in, because the earth shook, the building shook. The next scene, I see myself standing outside. So I'm not looking at myself, but I'm looking through my own eyes. And I see that I'm looking up, and I'm looking at the top of my apartment, so it's like the roof, and the blue sky above it. And I see a massive green army plane, military plane, and it's crashing. It's on a downward trajectory, and it's just going to miss my house. It's that close. And then I'm back in this room. In the next scene, I'm back in this room, and I'm looking out the east window, and my wife is looking out the same window, but from the other side. We're both looking at this side, but one was on this side of the window, one was on that side of the window. And we're looking out, and I see, looking outside, my son and neighborhood children. In the natural, there is no neighborhood children in this neighborhood, but anyway, in the dream, I was looking outside, and I saw my young son and young neighborhood children, and they were running happily toward the wreckage of this plane that I can't see. They're just running in the yard towards the field, and my wife says the plane crashed in the other field. That was the end of the dream. Now let me give you what I understand about this dream. Dreams are rarely literal. It's very symbolic, and oftentimes in our own communication with one another, we will use symbolic language to communicate different concepts to one another. And so that's kind of what dreams are. They're just this smattering of various different symbolisms. All right, so this is what I believe this dream is telling me. Also, I want to point out that night that I had that dream, I also had another dream. And in that dream, I saw a stock market chart, and it had gapped down, so it sold off, and then it had gapped down and sold off beyond that. I believe this entire dream is regarding me giving you a warning about a massive market panic and crash that's coming. A hard landing or a soft landing in economic language would be, I think, reflected here. The noise caused the panic. The noise, oftentimes we talk about people and you say things like, well, it's just noise, ignore it. That's kind of what I'm gathering from that dream, is that the noise, the news that will be coming out is going to stir people up into a panic, into a frenzy where they're looking for places to hide. But there will also be this crash, right? This hard landing. It's also important to note that the noise will also shake the nation, the ground that was under my feet, and the building that I was in. I believe when I looked out the window and I saw that my son and his neighborhood friends were running after or chasing the wreckage of the plane, I believe that is symbolic that this crash, I don't see the crash. I don't see the plane hit the ground. I don't see flames. I don't see smoke. It's beyond my view. I believe that this crash will go on beyond perhaps even my life, if not beyond my time period. So it's another field. It's those young children running. It's another generation. It's seen. Before the recovery happens, it'll be another generation that will be moving in those fields, in those markets. The main thing is that you have an economic crash coming. I've had multiple dreams in the past that I've shared with you regarding that, and the Lord is telling me to tell you now is that warning. The siren is already sounded. The Lord wants me to give you that last warning that this is happening.